Alright, so this is a suggestion via a donation. Now, the name of the video is, where did pirate ships repair their ships? Guys, before we even start, I'm going to go ahead and guess they probably repaired their ships while they were moving. Right? I'm just going to be honest. I mean, if it wasn't like massive amounts of damage, they probably just repaired what they could while they were still traveling to like a different port, or they were traveling to another ship to overall pilfer, guys. Most likely. But all right, let's check it out.
Pirates, much like their ships, come in all shapes and sizes. From pagan Vikings to the Barbary Corsairs, they've raided and looted throughout the ages. But one place was home to the most infamous of them all, the Caribbean. Now, unlike most, the pirates of the Caribbean, no, not those ones, the actual pirates of the Caribbean started out with some semblance of legality. You see this? This is a letter of marque. It is a license given by the state to a private person, allowing them free rein to attack and capture enemy vessels, in exchange for splitting part of the bounty with the crown. Here you go, Gov. Thank you very much. It was essentially a way to privatize war.
Yeah, but they never actually got money back from the letter of marque situations, guys. The pirates definitely kept everything. And I would say, how about this? If they were to take 10 French ships, guys, on average, right? If they were going to go ahead and take 10 French ships, they would only honestly probably say they took one. Keep in mind, these are pirates.
That's why the licensees were called privateers. But when these letters were withdrawn or cancelled, the now unemployed privateers weren't always so eager to take down their flags and return to the mainland. Some of them just really loved sailing the seven seas. Ah, wind in my hair. Cue the Titanic. And so, when their letters were revoked, they'd hoist the black flag and would continue doing what they did best. So, basically, most pirates were self-employed privateers. In the case of the Caribbean, many originally worked for the French and English empires, which would frequently raid Spanish ships, hauling gold back to Spain. Now, the bounty was immense, but it didn't always come easy, so unsurprisingly, privateer ships were in constant need of repair. Pirate ships were a similar story, perhaps even more so, actually, because apart from the wear and tear of storms and battles, pirate ships also had to be quick enough to outrun other privateers. Now, the best way to speed up your ship is by cleaning it. Not the whole thing, of course, just the hull. You see, seaweed and barnacles love attaching themselves to a ship's hull, and this actually slows the ship down quite a lot. And you also have the constant threat of shipworms that eat away the wood. So every few months, pirate ships need cleaning and repair.
What is that?
But here's the thing. It's not like you could just show up at any odd port, fix your ship, and go on your merry way. No, pirates could afford no such luxury.
Bro, don't Google that. Unless you like looking at worms. If you like looking at worms, please go Google it. I'm sure it'll be amazing for you to see something as disgusting as this, potentially, right? But, ew.
And go on your merry way. No, pirates could afford no such luxury. Instead, they had to fix their ships by careening them. This meant finding a nice beach on some uninhabited island where you could park your ship at high tide and intentionally tip it on one side so you could repair it. Sometimes these repairs would last weeks, during which time the pirates were under constant threat of a Royal Navy ship stumbling upon them and blasting them to smithereens. Fire! This high risk meant that pirates would pay handsomely to any port willing to take them in. And that's how ports like Tortuga, Port Royal, and Nassau came about. Indeed, the most successful pirates throughout history have always had some sort of base to call home. The Vikings had their fjords, while the Barbary Corsairs had ports along the North African coast. Of course, these bases weren't just places to fix your ships. They were also hubs for information, trading, networking, and of course, endless debauchery. Easy, Tiger, it's a family show. Now keep in mind that these bases were always reliant upon the tacit approval of the great naval powers at the time. France and England in the case of the Caribbean, and the Ottoman Empire for the Mediterranean. This approval lasted for as long as the privateers and pirates were useful, and Tortuga, specifically, was very useful. Its key location on the northwestern tip of Hispaniola made it hotly contested between the French and the Spanish, and indeed the island would change ownership no less than 8 times in the early 1600s. To most pirates, this uncertainty was not good for business, but they would soon find a much more lucrative arrangement in nearby Jamaica. You see, in 1655, the English conquered Jamaica from the Spanish, but their forces were stretched thin, and they didn't really have the resources to defend the island. The newly installed governor of Jamaica, however, got a bright idea. He invited the Tortuga pirates to come over to Port Royal and make it their main base. In doing so, he not only got the pirates on his side, he also made Port Royal practically unassailable, for it quickly became the greatest pirate haven the world had ever seen.
"Or, how you be?" "Oh, I be good, thank you very much. Arr, 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 woof, arr."
For a brief moment, Caribbean piracy experienced a golden age, until a massive earthquake struck right at the center of Port Royal, killing 2,000 people and sinking about 2/3 of the town beneath the sea. The few surviving pirates praised God for sparing their lives, only to be washed away by the ensuing tsunami that obliterated whatever was left of Port Royal. To most, this was about as clear a sign of divine punishment as one can get.
Right.
And indeed,
Punish
this event
these pirates.
did mark the beginning of the end for Caribbean piracy. Of course, there are always those who don't take a hint, and these stragglers actually banded together to create a new base on the sparsely populated Bahamas. There, the English had abandoned their only major settlement, Nassau, after a Franco-Spanish attack in 1703. The pirates moved in about 3 years later and established their very own pirate republic, without the patronage of any country, and where the only law was pirate code.
That didn't last long.
Somewhat surprisingly, this audacious experiment lasted a full decade before being violently suppressed by the British. Ah, the British, suppressing everything that is fun except for the Great British Chip, Britain's contribution to world cuisine.
That's a French fry, bro. All right, that's not a chip, that's a French fry.
At which point, piracy in the Caribbean truly began its terminal decline. Oh well, at least we got a few good movies out of it. Well, my friends, thank you for watching. I hope I haven't discouraged you from hoisting the black flag yourself, even though we're now 3 centuries past the time it was truly worth it. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already, of course. And we'll see each other again in 2 weeks for the next turbulently tempestuous installment of Side Quest, me hearties.
Right. Listen, so the animation style of this was great. I definitely would like to encounter more of these from him. I've never encountered this channel, first time here, and how he delivers history, I think, is honestly lucrative to many people. I think a lot of people could follow these stories, specifically if they don't know these stories. I definitely never heard of shipworms. So that's something new, right? And also, I did not know that the pirate ships careened themselves. I had no idea. I mean, listen, I guess I probably could have figured that out eventually, but I never even wanted to even think about that. But now I know that they are literally kind of lodging themselves onto a beach and putting themselves from side to side to basically make it so they can consistently keep up with the ships that they are attempting to pilfer from. But all right, listen, let me know in the comments of the next thing from them that I should be checking out, and I will get into that as soon as I possibly can. All right? And listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day and enjoy your day thoroughly.